Irkutsk is a city and the administrative center of Irkutsk Oblast, Russia, and one of the largest cities in Siberia. Population 587,891, 593,604, 622,301. History. In 1652, Ivan Pokobov built his imovio near the site of Irkutsk for gold trading and for the collection of fur taxes from the Buryats. In 1661, Jakov Pokobov built an ostrog nearby. The ostrog gained official town rights from the government in 1686. The first road connection between Moscow and Irkutsk, the Siberian Road, was built in 1760 and benefited the town economy. Many new products, often imported from China via Kyakhta, became widely available in Irkutsk for the first time, including gold, diamonds, fur, wood, silk, and tea. In 1821, as part of the Speransky reforms, Siberia was administratively divided at the Yenisei River, and Irkutsk became the seat of the Governor-General of East Siberia. In the early 19th century, many Russian artists, officers, and nobles were sent into exile in Siberia for their part in the Decembrist revolt against Tsar Nicholas I. Irkutsk became the major center of intellectual and social life for these exiles, and much of the city's cultural heritage comes from them. Many of the wooden houses, adorned with ornate, hand-carved decorations, survive today, in stark contrast with the standard Soviet apartment blocks that surround them. By the end of the 19th century, there was one exiled man for every two locals. People of varying backgrounds, from members of the Decembrist uprising to Bolsheviks, have been in Irkutsk for many years and have greatly influenced the culture and development of the city. As a result, Irkutsk eventually became a prosperous cultural and educational center in eastern Siberia. In 1879, on July 4th and 6th, the palace of the Governor-General, the principal administrative and municipal offices and many of the other public buildings were destroyed by fire, and the government archives, the library and the museum of the Siberian section of the Russian Geographical Society were completely ruined. Three-quarters of the city was destroyed, including approximately 4,000 houses. However, the city quickly rebounded, with electricity arriving in 1896, the first theater being built in 1897 and a major train station opened in 1898. The first train arrived in Irkutsk on August 16 of that year. By 1900, the city had earned the nickname of the Paris of Siberia. During the Russian Civil War, which broke out after the October Revolution, Irkutsk became the site of many furious, bloody clashes between the Whites and the Reds. In 1920, Alexander Kolchak, the once feared commander of the largest contingent of anti-Bolshevik forces, was executed in Irkutsk, which effectively destroyed the anti-Bolshevik resistance. Irkutsk was the administrative center of the short-lived East Siberian Oblast, which existed from 1936 to 1937. The city subsequently became the administrative center of Irkutsk Oblast after East Siberian Oblast was divided into Chita Oblast and Irkutsk Oblast. During the communist years, the industrialization of Irkutsk and Siberia in general was heavily encouraged. The large Irkutsk reservoir was built on the Angara River between 1950 and 1959 in order to facilitate industrial development. The Epiphany Cathedral, the Governor's Palace, a school of medicine, a museum, a military hospital and the Crown factories are among the public institutions and buildings. The Alexander Kolchak Monument, designed by Vyacheslav Klikov, was unveiled in 2004. On July 27, 2004, the Irkutsk synagogue was gutted by conflagration. Geography. The city proper lies on the Angara River, a tributary of the Yenisei, 72 kilometers below its outflow from Lake Baikal and on the bank opposite the suburb of Glaskosk. The river, 580 meters wide, is crossed by the Irkutsk hydroelectric dam and 3 other bridges downstream. The Irkutsk River, from which the town takes its name, is a smaller river that joins the Angara directly opposite the city. The main portion of the city is separated from several landmarks, the monastery, the fort and the port, as well as its suburbs, by another tributary, the Ida River. The 2 main parts of Irkutsk are customarily referred to as the left bank and the right bank with respect to the flow of the Angara River. Irkutsk is situated in a landscape of rolling hills within the thick taiga that is typical in eastern Siberia. According to the regional plan, Irkutsk city will be combined with its neighboring industrial towns of Shelekhov and Angarsk to form a metropolitan area with a total population of over 1 million. Climate. Irkutsk originally had a borderline subarctic climate. Since 2000, the temperatures have resembled a humid continental climate. Snow cover disappeared earlier, from late April in the 1930s to late March in the 1980s. Discontinuous permafrost depth had decreased from 200 meters to 100 meters during the same period. Irkutsk is characterized by an extreme variation of temperatures between seasons. It can be very warm in the summer and very cold in the winter. However, Lake Baikal has its effect, such that temperatures in Irkutsk are not as extreme as elsewhere in Siberia. The warmest month of the year in Irkutsk is July, when the average temperature is plus 18 degrees Celsius, the highest temperature recorded being plus 37.2 degrees Celsius. The coldest month of the year is January, when the average temperature is minus 18 degrees Celsius, and record low of minus 49.7 degrees Celsius. Precipitation also varies widely throughout the year, with July also being the wettest month, when precipitation averages 113 millimeters. The driest month is February, when precipitation averages only 7.6 millimeters. Almost all precipitation during the Siberian winter falls as flurry, low moisture content snow. Administrative and municipal status. Irkutsk is the administrative center of the oblast and, within the framework of administrative divisions, it also serves as the administrative center of Irkutsk district, even though it is not a part of it. As an administrative division, it is incorporated separately as the city of Irkutsk, an administrative unit with the status equal to that of the districts. As a municipal division, the city of Irkutsk is incorporated as Irkutsk Urban Okrug. Coat of arms. The coat of arms of Irkutsk features an old symbol of Doria, a Siberian tiger with a sable in his mouth. When the coat of arms was devised in 1690, the animal was described as a tiger with a sable in his mouth. This image had been used by the Yakutsk Customs Office from about 1642. It has its origin in a seal of the Siberia Khanate representing a sable and showcasing the fact that Siberia was the main source of sable fur throughout the Middle Ages. By the mid-19th century, the word babr had fallen out of common usage, but it was still recorded in the armorial of the Russian Empire. Furthermore, the tigers became extinct in this part of Siberia. In the 1870s, a high-placed French heraldist with a limited command of Russian assumed that babr was a misspelling of BOBR, the Russian word for beaver, and changed the wording accordingly. This modification engendered a long dispute between the local authorities, who were so confused by the revised description that they started to depict the BABR as a fabulous animal, half tiger and half beaver. The Soviets abolished the image altogether, but it was restored following the dissolution of the Soviet Union. Economy. Energy. The 662.4 megawatts Irkutsk hydroelectric power station was the first cascade hydroelectric power station in the Irkutsk region. The construction of the dam started in 1950 and finished in 1958. Industry. The largest industry in Irkutsk is the Irkutsk Aviation Industrial Association, which was set up in 1932 in the Transbaikal region of the Soviet Union. It is best known as being the manufacturer of the Su-30 family of interceptor ground attack aircraft. The Russian government is planning to merge Irkut with Ilyushin, Mikoyan, Sukhoi, Tupolev, and Yakovlev as a new company named United Aircraft Building Corporation. There is the Irkutsk aluminium smelter, which belongs to the Urzil Company. Transportation. Important roads and railways like the Trans-Siberian Highway and Trans-Siberian Railway connect Irkutsk to other regions in Russia and Mongolia. The city is also served by the Irkutsk International Airport and the smaller Irkutsk Northwest Airport. The Federal Road and Railway to Moscow and Vladivostok pass through the other side of the Angara River from central Irkutsk. Trams are one major mode of public transit in Irkutsk. Other modes are trolleybus, bus, and fixed-route taxi. Culture, television and mass media. There are many state-owned and privately owned television stations in Irkutsk, including state company IGTRK and private ones, such as Baikal TV, TV company AIST, TV company Gorod, and also other media outlets, like the VSP newspaper agency. There is also a live webcam broadcasting from the city center. Education. Irkutsk is home to the East Siberian Education Academy, Irkutsk State University, Irkutsk State Medical University, Baikalsky State University of Economics and Law, Irkutsk State Technical University, Irkutsk State Academy of Agriculture, Irkutsk State Linguistic University, Irkutsk State Railway Transport University, and a number of private colleges. Siberian Institute of Law, Economics and Management, Institute of Economics of ISDU, and others. Science. As Irkutsk is within the influence of the Siberian division of the Russian Academy of Sciences, there are 9 research institutes located in the Irkutsk Akademgorodok suburb: the Institute of Geography, the Energy System Institute, the Institute of Geochemistry, the Institute of System Dynamics and Control Theory, the Earth's Crust Institute, the Solar Terrestrial Physics Institute, the Institute of Chemistry, the Limnological Institute, the Institute of Plant Physics, Laser Physics Institute. A number of institutes conduct research within Irkutsk State University: the Institute of Biology, the Institute of Oil and Coal Chemistry and Synthesis, the Laboratory of Quantum Chemistry, the Institute of Applied Physics, the Interregional Institute of Social Studies, the Astronomical Observatory, and the Botanical Gardens. The East Siberian Scientific Center of the Russian Academy of Medical Sciences is also located in Irkutsk and is represented by the following research organizations: the Scientific Center for Medical Ecology, the Institute for Pediatrics and Human Reproduction, the Institute for Microbiology and Epidemiology, the Institute for Medicine of the Workplace and Human Ecology, the Institute of Reconstructive and Restorative Surgery, the Institute of Surgery, and the Institute of Traumatology and Orthopedics. Also, the Fyodorov Eye Microsurgery Scientific and Technical Center has a branch in Irkutsk. Additionally, there are R and AMP-D institutes, including Gazprom R and AMP-D Institute, the Irkutsk Institute of Rare and Precious Metals and Diamonds, part of the Petropavlovsk Group of companies, and the Vostok Sibakadem Center of the Russian Academy of Architecture and Construction Sciences that publishes the Project Baikal journal. Literature. Irkutsk has long been home to the well-known Russian writer Valentin Rasputin. Many of his novels and stories take place in the Angara Valley. An essay on the cultural history of Irkutsk is included in Rasputin's non-fiction collection Siberia, which is also available in an English translation. Museums. Irkutsk is a point of interest for tourists with its numerous museums and old architecture. The Taltsi Museum, located on the Angara 47 kilometers south of Irkutsk, is an open-air museum of Siberian traditional architecture. Numerous old wooden buildings from villages in the Angara Valley, which have been flooded after the construction of the Bratsk Dam and Ustilimsk Dam, have been transported to the museum and reassembled there. One of the centerpieces of the collection is a partial recreation of the 17th-century Ostrog of Ilimsk, which consists of the original Spasskaya Tower and the Church of Our Lady of Kazan, transported from the flooded Ostrog in the mid-1970s, to which an exact modern copy of another tower of the Ostrog and the southern wall of the fortress were added in the early 2000s. The Botanic Garden of the Irkutsk State University, known as the Irkutsk Botanic Garden, is the only botanic garden as a living museum in Irkutsk Oblast and Baikalian Siberia. Its mission is to protect and enrich the flora of the Lake Baikal area and the world for people through public education, collection, propagation, research, and conservation of plants. The garden is mainly an educational and scientific tool for the Irkutsk State University and maintains the largest plant collection of living plants in eastern Siberia, a herbarium, and a seed bank. It occupies 27 hectares within Irkutsk city, 70 kilometers west of Lake Baikal. It has a federal status of especially protected land and a nature memorial of Irkutsk. Theaters. Irkutsk is also home to several theaters, including the Arklopka Drama Theater, one of Russia's oldest. Sports. Bandy is a very big sport in the city. There are several clubs, most notably Baikal Energia of the Russian Bandy Super League, which can draw spectator crowds of 30,000. It is also the center of women's bandy in Russia, with the club record, which provides most players to the national team. 2012 Women's Bandy World Championship was hosted in Irkutsk and received praise from Federation of International Bandy. 2014 Bandy World Championship was played in the city. The final of Russian Bandy Super League 2016 will be played at Record Stadium. Twin towns and sister cities. Irkutsk is twinned with